Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War raid stream, week 23, day 7. Of course, we are done with raids at this point, it is the end of the week. However, of course, with it being the end of the week, that means we have a bunch of stuff coming soon, like tomorrow. With the new event week. We also have a new pet coming on Wednesday, though it's fully cosmetic. And we're also going to be getting a new faction next Friday. I'm also going to be doing a day-long stream this Tuesday, in 2 days from now. And on the day that All-Seeing Eye has its faction event. Main reason for that is next week we'll be bringing Darkstone to 17 stars, potentially. 16 stars or 17 stars. The only way you can get it to 17 stars, though, is if you go and have 2 pets from the kingdom to level 20. And there are only 3 pets in the kingdom. The troglodyte thing from a while back, that one most people probably have mythicked. But there's 2 others, and those people don't most likely have mythicked. One is the ninja cat that came in recently. So unless you got it mythic then you won't be able to get it mythic, and nor did I bother, because it's just a waste of gems. But the other way, and really the only realistic way, is to do All-Seeing Eye to 2,500. Even though it's theoretically not actually the requirement, it is technically the requirement to 17-star Darkstone, at least with how pets currently are. So, yeah, we're going to be doing that this Tuesday. I'm pretty sure quite a few other people might contest us on leaderboard too, just because some people will probably do that. It's not really worth it, 16 to 17 star, to spend like 2,000 gems just to get it. However, we have so many gems that we might as well, so we will be doing it. And I'm also going to be doing the Friday event, of course, to the exact same thing, but on Friday rather than on Tuesday. But anyways, let me go bring up the spoiler stuff. Wherever that is that it? Yep, that should be it right there. But anyways, first things first. We got ourselves another troll, and a quite interesting one at that. We have the Corrupt Troll. It is a elemental giant, just like all of the other trolls. It is elemental giant. This is extremely relevant because both giants and elementals have half mana start. And yeah, should end up being pretty decent. It's a red-blue that ends up creating a mix of green and purple gems equal to the current green and purple gems on the board. And if I'm not mistaken, that is a 1-to-1 boost ratio. Actually, we could go double check this by going over here. That is indeed a 1-by-1 boost ratio. That is going to be interesting. So, yeah, if there's something like 20 green-purple on the board, this thing will be creating a mix of 20 green-purple. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of gem spawn, and already on the board that is populated with a lot of both. I'm trying to think of a troop that creates both green and purple that isn't him, because whatever that is going to be insanely good with him. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one troop that creates a mix of green and purple already. And whatever it does will be really good synergy with this thing. But yeah, it has a lot of potential. It can start with half mana start. It doesn't really have anything noteworthy on traits, but that ability is quite unique in that none of the other trolls are really set up in that way. So we'll have to see how it pans out, but it definitely has a lot of potential. It does seem like it might be a little bit towards the weaker side, but there's probably some kind of broken combo out there. We'll just have to use it and figure out what it is. Next up on our list of thingies, we have the, I believe the Glory Troop that ends up coming in. And that is the Legendary, I mean, from the event keys. I was just mentioning the other week, like, hey, we haven't gotten a Legendary for a while from event keys. Well, here one is. It deals damage to an enemy and then curses them, and inflicts 2 to 4 stacks of bleed. This is the first thing in the game that has multi-bleed on it, so that's going to be pretty cool. So now we know in the future there might be multi-bleed mechanics, where other things might do like full AoE 2 bleed to all enemies, or something similar. But yeah, it has a lot of potential. If it 4 stacks of bleed, that is 10 damage per turn. I'm really curious to see what other troops they might do with this in the future. Like if they create a mythic that could 4 times bleed automatically 100% of the time. Because that's 10 damage per turn to true damage, so has a lot of potential. Unfortunately, his damage is physical, so probably not going to be the greatest of things. Also, the amount of bleeds is extremely inconsistent. So probably not going to really be used, but it's an interesting concept nonetheless. And other than that, he gains 8 mana when an enemy dies. So this is the first effect ever that will gain mana specifically when an enemy dies. It's not a particularly high amount, only 8, so that's not really going to do him much good. It's also a really weird number given that he requires 14. 8 is, I don't know, just very strange. I would think kind of like a 7 or a 10 or, I don't know, 8 just seems like a weird number to give to him, given that his mana cost is 14. But nonetheless, could have some potential. But overall, it looks like it's just going to be a little bit too bad just because of the lack of board control. I like the concept of the troop, though. But it's just not going to be viable for much. Especially since it's green-red. There's plenty of other green-reds that will end up outdoing it. And if you really wanted bleeds, I'm pretty sure the bleeding every single extra turn is still going to outdo this thing. So, yeah, it's still something I would say to get, especially since Darkstone can be 17 starred, and if you're not going for 17 stars, it still can be 16 starred, and still really easy 10-star Magic Kingdom if you want to go and get it. It's the highest starred kingdom in the game. It has the most amount of troops of any kingdom in the game. So, yeah, if you haven't already gotten that to 10-star, definitely advise doing so, that kingdom, though it does require the mythic. But it's a good mythic anyways, so pretty decent one. Oh yeah, wait, we're not getting a weapon? Oh yeah, duh, because it's Guild War week, we don't have any weapon. But anyways, those are those. However, that's not the only things we're getting. On Wednesday, of course, we're getting that one cosmetic pet. However, let me go zoom in some. This Friday, we are indeed getting a new faction. Okay, that might be zoomed a little bit too much. We'll go there. But on that new faction, we are getting 4 useless troops. And let's go over them real quick. So, the ultra rare, it'll end up doing a deal magic plus 5 damage to the last 2 enemies. And if the enemy dies, gain 20 gold and an extra turn. The extra turn aspect, pretty decent. All the gold aspect, not really. Also, one interesting thing about this kingdom, though, even though everything's useless in it, is they all have a trait called Extreme Greed, which ends up giving them 4 gold every single extra turn they do, which obviously is double the effect of a normal greed, which is 2 gold every single time you do an extra turn on the board. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, but overall, I don't think any of these are going to be good in gold farming-related teams, even though they theoretically could have potential in it. They just seem too underwhelming. Next is a legendary, deals magic plus 4 damage to an enemy, and then gain 3 to all skills, and it's boosted by the amount of gold. This one kind of has potential, but I feel like it's going to be too slow to get up. So, for example, if you end up having 50 gold, or 100 gold, I mean, this will end up giving you what should be 53 to all skills, which is a pretty high number. However, it's initially going to be starting just as an average troop and has no board control. So you're not really going to be really good with this troop until his 3rd cast. So that's quite a bit of cast to do with absolutely no board control. Though this thing could get pretty broken if you end up getting it to really, really high stats. But the only big issue with it is it's going to take a while to get rolling. It's going to take at least 3 casts before it's really threatening. And beyond that point, it's going to be ridiculously broken. But 3 casts is quite a lot with no board control whatsoever. But yeah, it's going to have some potential, if nothing else, early on in the game, mid-game, if you don't have too many options. This could be okay. Because if you use it with a Cedric, that's 200 gold, that's 100 to all skills after one single cast, and you're hitting like 120, 130 AoE onto the enemy. So, yeah, it has potential. Oh wait, sorry. That's actually a lower boost ratio than I thought it was. That's not a 0 point. That's not a 1 and 2. That's a 0.2. So that's actually a 1 and 5 on gold. So yeah, it's gonna take him at least 3 casts then to really get operational, because that's actually a bit lower than what I just said. It's actually 2.5 times lower than what I just said. So for every 5 gold, basically for every 5 gold, he'll do 1 to all skills. Still, if you're at 200 gold with one single Cedric, that will end up being a 40 gold or 43 to all stats. So still pretty decent. 43 to all stats. You cast it twice. You're already up to 86 more stats than you had previously. So yeah, it's still going to be pretty decent. Obviously, you'll need to use it with Cedric or there's some other things just to boost your gold up a little bit so it gets bigger quicker. But overall, again, it's just going to take too long to get operational. At least 3 turns until it's really threatening. So it's going to be okay. It's definitely a long game kind of troop. Like if you're planning on upscaling, could potentially be used for that. It doesn't upscale infinitely, since obviously it's capped by gold and that can't keep going up. But it's still going to be pretty solid. And every single time you will gain dozens of stats, so could have some potential. Other than that, he gains 10 gold whenever he takes damage, which I don't really think is going to be that relevant unless he gets poisoned or bled. Next up, we have ourselves the rare. This ends up stealing all enemy gold. It then creates 6 purple gems boosted by the amount of stolen gold at a cap of a 16. So that's for every 3 gold, it'll end up creating 1 extra purple to that cap. So, for example, if you end up stealing something like 30 gold, that would actually be the full capacity of the boost ratio to get all the way to 16. Anything stolen beyond that, you'll still get the gold, but it and deplete the enemy's gold. However, it will not create more than 16 total. So as long as the enemy is at least 30 gold, it will do the full potential. This will obviously be pretty bad, because generally the enemy will not have that much gold. And the other problem is, since it steals all instead of just 30 or something like that, it's you're going to have many instances after the first cast where the enemy just has no gold whatsoever, and it'll be a lot less effective every subsequent cast other than the first, unless you're using like a really big gold farming team. But other than that, it's going to be pretty underwhelming. So that's that. And as far as the epic that I ended up getting, it creates 6 skulls boosted by gold up to a maximum of 14 skulls. This one could potentially be a little bit more useful because it gets to do this every single time. So basically, once you get the gold capacity for only 13 mana cost, you'll be able to create 14 skulls. Pretty good mid-game kind of skull spam troop instead of using skeleton or something like that. The only real big liability with that is that it is a 0.2 boost ratio like the other. So it needs 5 gold for every single skull. So how much would you end up needing? What is 8 times 5? That is 40. So you would end up needing... Actually, that's still pretty low. You would end up needing 40 gold in order to get the full capacity. So that's not that bad at all, especially with the fact that it is extreme greed. But that could have some potential. I feel like overall, other skull spammers, obviously later in the game, will be better than this. But it's definitely going to be usable. It is human rogue, so you can half mana start this as well with the 50% human bonus. Actually, I just realized every single thing in this kingdom is human rogue. Or except for the Rashka one. But yeah, you will be able to human that to with the Holy Saint Astra to 50% start it. So that could be okay, I guess, for a skull spammer. That's a relatively cheap skull spam option then. The only problem is getting the gold operational, because otherwise it's going to do a really small amount of skulls. But I guess that one actually has a little bit of potential then. In late game, I don't feel like either of these are going to be used, but yeah, if anything, these two would have the most potential. The King of Thieves legend from the next faction, and the Tome Robber epic. So those are going to be probably the main two that are going to be usable, if at all. But anyways, that's all the stuff for this week, or for the following week, as far as events. And of course, as I mentioned, we're getting a cosmetic bet on Wednesday. It's a dog that looks like a dragon. I don't care for it that much. But still gonna get it just for completionist sake, of course. Definitely don't want to not do it. But anyways, let's go do all of our dailies and go farm up our hero class more and mess around with some teams with them. I still need to go do the video on that. I am doing that soon. The video going over the Corsair. We finally got it to 70, of course. But I'll be covering that in the next day or so. But let's go and where see what I'm looking for. I guess we'll just go for our first team over here. Use our Explorer and just kill everything out with this. Anyways, hello everyone. I actually couldn't see chat during all of that. Hello William. Hello Isabel. Hello Steve. Hello Gustavo. Hello James. Hello Pliskin. Hello DeCrail. Hello hello Matt. Hello Captain. Hello James. Let's see. All of the trolls are 1-to-1 boost ratio. I don't think a single one isn't 1-to-1 boost ratio. And some of them are most of them are 1-to-1 with +3. Though that one Taurus one is 1-to-1 +2 instead of +3. I guess they just didn't want it to be too many skulls. Hello, Michael. Hello, Joshua. Hello, Shopping. What music do I listen to? I don't really listen to music too much. Yeah, I don't normally listen to music that much. But I listen to just about everything as far as genre. Oh, so hello, Crystal. Hello, Price. Hello, Chad. And hello, Kevin. Can anyone watch? What do you mean by that? Of course anyone can watch this stream. Assuming you have internets. Hello, peoples of the internet. The old snot stones actually do exist. They exist whenever you get a legendary task off the top. Whenever it tells you to kill 150 of a color. They still exist within the game. It's not on a weekly basis, but you'll normally see it at least once a month. Hello, Corn. Hello, Adele. Welcome, welcome. You can still get event keys off of the lower tasks. We got 2 event keys the other day off of one of the tasks. But yeah, the amount of event keys you get is actually slightly lower than the old system. Not by much. On average, you're getting about 1 less event key per week compared to the previous system. However, you're getting more in other resources, including gems, which can theoretically just be used for event keys. But yeah, on average, it's about 1 event key less per month. The current system compared to the old system. Though most resources are higher, not lower. Like gem keys are higher, physical gems are higher. Event keys just kind of got gypped a little bit because there's only 2 tasks that have it. One that gives 1 event key and one that gives 2 event keys. And one is, I believe, ultra rare, the one that gives 1, and the other one is legendary. Why am I playing with the yellow staff? Pretty much any weapon can be used there. I'm just doing it as a split damage option after the Rowan. You can pretty much use any weapon there as long as it doesn't block Rowan. It doesn't really matter. It might even be more efficient to use a 2-color weapon like a green, yellow, red that does some damage or something like that. Just because it'll fill up better from the Leprechaun. But yeah, I'm just using that for the sake of using it. We could use pretty much anything there. Might end up switching it out later. But obviously, like 99% of the battles, it is irrelevant whatever is there as long as it's not blocking Rowan. He didn't get mana because this has slightly higher stats because I didn't realize it was the ultra rare one. But it still dies. And that's all we need. I didn't even realize they added a new Griffin to the battle already. That was a pretty recent troop from a couple weeks ago. Oh, hey, also look at that. Exactly 29,000 gems. Right on the dot. Nice. Go clear out dungeons. It is Diamond Day after all. Definitely don't want to miss out. That is a lot of free diamonds. What am I looking for? I'm looking for... Where's my key team? Oh yeah, I moved all the way to the top. I still haven't named this PvP Gold. Let me go name it PvP team. Or not PvP team, I mean key team. The almighty key. Key team. Okay. Roll with that. And fight. Is City of Thieves not linked to a kingdom? Oh, it is. Oh, my bad. City of Thieves is linked to the kingdom of... I actually forgot off the top of my head. Is linked to... I actually forget. Hold up, 1 second. It is linked to... Where's the thingy that says it? Leonis Empire is what it is linked to. But yeah, Leonis Empire is the link for the... is what the new faction is associated to. But yeah, Leonis Empire. It's not really going to be that useful linked to that kingdom, but that is where it is linked to nonetheless. Do I buy the 10 spoiler thing every single week with glory? Yeah, because it's so cheap and you might as well. But yeah, I buy it every single week. Only takes like a few seconds. Buy it. It's not really needed because I have more event keys than I'll ever know what to do with. But it's cheap enough that I might as well, and that's why I do it. Also, with the multi-buy option now, it doesn't take that long at all. If you're already in the menu to go buy your glory troop, it's only going to take a few seconds longer to go buy the 10 event keys every week. I'm pretty sure I bought it this week. I buy it at the exact same time I do the event troop. Which is before I record the Monday videos. But, pretty sure. Oops, that's not where that is. Yeah, we already got it. And we already got all the shimmer scales that we needed. Also, if you need red yellows, make sure to stock up now. Also, I just realized we're almost at a million glory again. We might have that midway through next week. It'd be pretty close. Yeah, we only need 8,000 more glory. 8,011 more glory. Will get us all the way there. Anyways, let's go do this one dungeon. Don't want to forget that. And then go claim the diamonds. What color is a trait stone for next week? It is... I forgot what it was off the top of my head. I believe it was red-blue. I'm gonna double check. The color is red-blue, yes, because it's Corrupt Troll. That's the one that's based off of the epic troop that's coming out next week, the Corrupt Troll. And that is red-blue. And it's epic, so you'll be able to stock up on them for 200 glory each. 400 glory per pack, but it comes out to 200 glory per arcane. So if you need red-blue arcanes for anything, you'll be able to stack up infinitely next week. So if you have Spirit Glory for that and need a trait stone, definitely make sure to do so. Oh, what do we grab here? Let's take brown for now, just key him down. Unfortunately, that did not surge. Luckily, we take that for free, get our full mana, throw that down, and just key to key. Be good to go. So that'll be enough damage to do that. Take that, because why not? How much will it be to get the troll to mythic? You get 1 per pack. It's 400 times 16, whatever that comes out to. Let's see. That's 24. That's 4. That's 6,800. Did I do math right? I think I did math right. It's whatever 16 times 400 is. No, I did math wrong. It's, no, I did math right. It's 6,400. Yeah, it should be 6,400. Yep, before I forget, buy diamonds, or buy the, yeah, buy diamonds. Where to go? Dungeons. Don't buy that one, buy this one. There we go. And of course, that's always worth it. You should always go for this every single Sunday. Even if you just started your account today, you should be going for it immediately, just because it's always worth it. You get 2 gem keys, which already counts for like almost 20 gems. The Celestial if you're low on them. And you end up getting 800 diamonds, which is more than 1 diamond per gem, which is an extremely good exchange rate. I'm pretty sure people would exchange 1-to-1 on them if they could. I'm pretty sure people would even go 1-to-2, spending 2 gems for 1 diamond. That's pretty much the same ratio. Or actually, that's even better ratio than that. Because it's giving more than 1 diamond per gem. But anyways, that's all the core ones for now. I do want to go grind some gold. We are going to be wasting about 10 million gold next week. Well, not wasting, but as I mentioned, next Tuesday I will be doing All Seeing Eye to 2,500 Pure Faction. And a new faction that comes out, wherever that's going to be on this map, is also going to be taking up a lot of gold and other resources like chaos shards and such. But anyways, let's go and do a little delve, I guess, real quick. And go farm a bit of PvP. Do we have a Cedric there? No, no Cedric. Let's see. Ooh, a 1.2. That's not what we want to see in one of these. Might just be better to go down the middle. Wow, why is there so many 1.2 rooms? That is a lot of 1.2s. Almost, I believe actually every single room that can be a 1.2 is a 1.2. No, never mind, those two aren't. But, wow, there's still a lot of 1.2s in this delve. Really strange. Running with Cedric, running with Corsair. Get our gold that we need. Get our other diamonds. Of course, need to farm up diamonds. We're going to be burning through a lot of them next week. I mean, not diamonds. I mean, chaos shards. Too many resources. And we're getting even more resources next patch. We're getting deeds. Also, next patch, very soon. It's almost guaranteed not this week. However, it could be. You never know. But no, realistically, next patch is like 2 to 3 weeks from now. But there is a possibility it's in like 2 days or something. It's very unlikely, but it is technically possible. Well, we'll find out. Oh, what did you take? Grab that for now. Also, once next patch comes out, we have a bit of grinding to do. Gotta go do all the new challenges. It's gonna take like a week for us to finish, unless we really grind it out in a few days. It's gonna take upwards of probably 20 hours to do them all. And that would be manageable in a week. Could even be done in a weekend if we really grind it out. I don't think I would do it in one single weekend, though. Though generally patches happen more towards the beginning of the week. So we could probably get it done by the end of the weekend, since patches are normally around Tuesday or so. Not always, but generally they're around that time, give or take a day. Why do you need to do the challenges? There's going to be a lot of extra challenges next patch that will be giving a bunch of resources. They're technically not required to do. However, it's probably going to be worth it for the loot that they do give. Because they're going to give a lot of one-time shards, one-time gem keys, and a few other various resources that are going to be desirable. Oh, he has a summon, doesn't he? Okay, good. We killed him before he got a summon, otherwise he would have delayed that battle by like 20 seconds. And here's that really annoying bullet team. They even lowered its mana cost to 12 instead of 13, which is a really good change for newer players. However, it's super annoying for delves, because whenever you get a situation like this, you now have to deal with the 12 mana cost bullet. More often than not, it's not a big deal. However, when it does get a cast off, it is super annoying. Because your team is then moved for the rest of the delve, which is not nice. Oh, yep, oh, there it goes. Oh, good, he didn't cast. Please, extra turn. No, he's going to move us. Yep, and now we're moved for the rest of the delve. Luckily, this team can survive with one move. Only problem would be if he did that again, but he shouldn't be able to. But you never know, his mana's pretty close. Getting there. Why did I do that? Oh, never mind. Yeah, I could have killed him with a skull. Whoops. Oh well. But yeah, our team actually isn't any slower from this positioning. However, it is pretty easy for our Egg Thief to die now, which is not nice. Good evening, Vincent! Welcome. You think it's coming before the next Mythic? I'm not sure about that. I don't think it would. But it's hard to tell. It's almost guaranteed not happening during a tower event. And tower event is 2 weeks from now. Not this week, but the following week is a tower event. And the main reason I say it probably won't happen then is there's a change that's going to be happening to invasions that will be taking place during that patch. And they likely wouldn't do it midweek on an invasion week. So the most likely time that they would do it is either this Monday or Tuesday. Most likely Monday, like literally tomorrow. Or 3 weeks from now, or 2 weeks and 1 day. Somewhere around then. So not next week, but the following week. Those are the two most likely times for it. And the more likelier one is the one in 2 weeks and a day, or 2 weeks and 2 days. Though it could be tomorrow, you never know. It's very unlikely, though. We'll take that for now. Grab browns. Oh, I had to give him blue. I guess it doesn't matter too much as long as he doesn't get a cast off. Not gonna do the skull because we don't need it. Well, I guess we still get it after all. Okay. That works, I guess. Let's take a green for now. Oh, why did I do that? Fail. Took all my greens. Okay, not all of them. I can take one more. Unfortunately, he webbed our key. So I guess that wouldn't matter too much since most of our damage is from Cedric anyways. However, if we were still webbed, that would not have been enough damage to kill his first slot. So luckily we unwebbed pretty much immediately. Quite convenient. Yeah, okay. And now we just need one skull into a key and that will kill. Yep, there's our one skull. There we go. We already cast the key, of course. Okay, we're currently at 12,000 Chaos Shards. That number is going to go down to 0 on Tuesday, most likely. Actually, you know what? I probably won't be spending as much on Tuesday. I'm probably spending down to 8,000 on Tuesday. Because I need to save the rest for the new faction. So that we can get all of them to Mythic immediately. All the new faction stuff. And for that, you normally need about 8,000. I guess we could save a little bit less than that. We could go down to like 7,000. Yeah, I need to keep some amount of reserve for Friday because that's the more important one. The one on Tuesday, we're just doing it so we have a slightly higher horde level for it. And if we have excess treasure somehow from doing these next two delves, I think I'm going to put them towards Crypt. Because right now my Crypt is still level 188. It's at a really weird number right now, and I want to make it a normal number. Slowly work every single kingdom to level 200 delve. I believe I'd be able to get that done within probably this year. Have every single one to base 200 by the end of the year, including all new ones. And combined with the next patch, that's actually going to be somewhat useful because they're also going to be 50% higher stats starting next patch. So having them at 200 is even more beneficial because it's basically like having a delve at 300, assuming you have the kingdom also upgraded. Do I know what kingdom is next week? It's Darkstone. And would it be worth spending event keys? There's nothing particularly over the top from Darkstone. However, you might still want to spend event keys if you don't already have the kingdom at 10 stars. If you haven't 10 starred the kingdom yet, it is the easiest kingdom in the entire game to get to 5 stars, 10 stars, or really any star level. It has the most troops of any kingdom in the game. It's also possible to bring it all the way to 17 stars if you're later in the game. But yeah, just because of that, it might be worth it. Though it does require the mythic from the kingdom to be able to 10-star it, though. The possessed king, that is. But yeah, it's a pretty average kingdom as far as troops, but it has the most amount of troops, so that kind of makes it a bit more relevant. It's also a magic kingdom, which also makes it more relevant, because magic is the most important stat in the game that you can get. Any instance where you get +1 from something, magic is always the best. Hoping to get... Oh yeah, also there's a new legendary in the drop table too. So it's not a particularly good one though. It's an interest. I really love the concept of it. It's just not viable. Tachi use. But it's a fun concept. I hope they do more like that in the future. Things that gain mana from doing something specifically, like killing or some kind of other objective. And multi-bleed. Multi-bleed will have a lot of potential in this game if they would actually add it on something good. Of course, this first instance is going to be pretty bad. Normally, the first instance of everything is pretty bad. But if they make a mythic that can bleed spam like crazy, like if we ever get a mechanic to bleed all enemies every extra turn, while also having a true damage ability, while that also bleeds, would be absolutely amazing. I'm not sure if they're ever going to do that though. They still haven't even added a troop that has both true damage and bleed yet, which is really surprising. I'm not sure why. I guess they're still concerned that it might be too overpowered. The only problem is every bleed that they keep making is underpowered because there is no true damage combined with bleed. So all the physical damage on them just completely gets wasted, which isn't good. Did we get Cedric? No, the Leprechaun room. Why did they have to add those? Take away from the Cedrics. They're good if you're not using a gold farming team because you actually net gain more gold that way. However, if you're using a gold farming team, it actually nerfs the amount of gold you get. That's not good. What path is it? Do we just take the bottom into top into circle? Yeah, we go over there. No, we go there, 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 there. We do it in sets of 2s, it looks like. Weird order. Yeah, that'd be interesting if they made it like an Obsidious troop. Because that would still be physical damage. But it would still have bleed. That'd be a weird mix, but yeah, that'd work. I wish it wasn't an Infernus-like troop though, because all the Infernus-like troops do physical damage, unless they eventually make a true damage version of it. So far, all 3 of them are physical damage, and we are getting a new Infernus-like troop. It's actually next mythic. It's the blue version of the Infernus-like troop. It's actually going to be really, really, really good. Gonna be one of the better mythics in the entire game, actually. The next mythic that's coming to the game. I don't think it's gonna be as viable for late game though. This also doesn't upscale, so it's only gonna be used mainly for PvP and Guild Wars. But it is gonna be a really solid PvP and Guild War option. 4x Submerge is also kind of interesting. It's already pretty easy to get Submerge, but that's like automatic. You just take 1 extra turn and you're just submerged automatically, your entire team. There's a full team protection against AoE damage without wasting a single turn. And while AoE isn't really used that much, because of Submerge, it's still a good counter to it if it ever does pop up. Yeah, AoE has been killed off so hard due to Submerge mechanic. Because they added it... Submerge was kind of supposed to be something that was a little bit hard to place. But they ended up making it so easy when they added Frost Mage. It's going to be even easier once this new mythic comes into the game. But yeah, there's almost no point in ever even using AoE troops once that comes in. Between Frost Mage and the new mythic that's coming, there's almost no point in ever running AoE in PvP or Guild Wars anymore. Which is unfortunate. They almost need to go rebalance all the older troops that do have AoE damage. Some of them don't need rebalance, like obviously Queen of Tanya is still always going to be good. But some of the other ones kind of could use a little bit of rebalance because they're pretty underwhelming. Due to how hard AoEs are getting countered these days. Same thing is applicable to most split damage troops as well. Sunbird and Rowan obviously being the exception, they're just insanely good. But a lot of other split damage troops that aren't Rowan or Sunbird have been pretty left behind. They're very underwhelming. Good majority of them. It just doesn't seem like it because Sunbird Rowan are just so ridiculously broken. And how much damage they do. Gold. And this delve actually is pretty good for farming gold. It's the best delve in the game, actually, for farming gold. With the only exception being Silver Necropolis, so actually second best. But, yeah, it's pretty decent for gold. I would be doing Silver Necropolis, but they still haven't buffed level 500 delves yet. And until they do, we won't be doing them. Next patch, from what I last recall, they are not fixing the level 500 delve problem that currently exists in this game. I did suggest it during the beta, multiple times, but multiple times as well. I literally, before the delves even existed, I mentioned it to them that it would be a problem, and a year later it's still a problem and they haven't addressed it. Hopefully they will eventually, but at least they did the adventure board fix, so I was at least able to get that in. So now adventure board is going to be uniform for everyone, which is really relevant due to how deeds are going to be implemented. But hopefully they'll get around to fixing level 500 delves eventually. It's kind of funny that they fixed adventure board prior to fixing delves. Because delves have been that way for a year. Adventure board only had that issue for a couple months since it was released. There's definitely a bigger distinction between PvP troops and PvE troops than before Wardbreaker and Rowan are great in PvE. Yeah, Wardbreaker's still good at getting a full kill. There's also game modes where there's not a lot of Submerge, where it ends up being good. Also, Bronze-Lock Pistol plus Wardbreaker's still solid for a lot of things. Assuming the enemy does not have Submerge, it's still a great combo. Hasn't changed. But there's definitely a big difference between various game modes as far as what is viable for what. The biggest difference is the difference between Quick Kill Explore, PvP, Guild Wars, Delves, and Tower of Doom. Those 5 game modes have probably the biggest difference as far as what actually gets used in each game mode. Every single one runs a completely different meta. And while there is some overlap, they have a pretty wide contrast for the most part, as far as what is most optimal for each. Hello, Alton! Welcome! Oh yeah, take this one first, because the middle is the Leprechaun Gold Room. Also, wow, my arm is actually still sore from yesterday. I think the reason being is I accidentally got a bit too many groceries. And I walk to the grocery store whenever I get my groceries. So, yeah, my arm's still hurting from that. Just bought a bit too much. Normally I just do a basket so I don't end up overbuying. But I still manage to overfill the basket sometimes. I think the biggest reason why I was so much heavier was I ended up picking up drinks. So I was like getting like large things of them. So it ended up weighing down the bags a lot more. I was wondering like, wait, why is my arm so sore today? But that was from shopping yesterday. Because I carry them on my arms, just so I don't need to use my hands. That's the only way you can really carry multiple bags easily. I'll grab that one. Grab a red. Get a, take that for now. I'll take the other red. And just destroy everything. But it used to be even worse back in high school. I used to live in a condo complex for part of the time I was in high school. And I had to go up like 4 flights of stairs just to be able to go and bring all the groceries. And you'd have to do that multiple times. to actually be able to get everything up there. That was really, really annoying. It was probably harder than actually walking. Like, walking a mile, I would say, is easier than bringing multiple groceries up several flights of stairs. Just because of how gravity works. It's harder to go, like, upwards like that than to just walk forward. Cloth store bags, rock them. I would, but for I use for my garbage bag, I use the bags that I get from grocery stores, so that I never need to buy garbage bags. So that's the only reason why I don't use like cloth bags and stuff like that. Even though it's more environmentally friendly, I'm going to need to be using some kind of bags for trash anyways. So I just use the bags I get from grocery shopping as my trash bags. I still have normal trash bags, but more often than not, like 90% of the time, I just use the bags that I get from grocery shopping. Let's see, we'll throw that down for now. Do I think we will see a new hero class with Reflect as a trait or talent? Probably. No time soon. Trying to think of what they might do it for. White Helm's already taken. I'm trying to think of like what kingdom they would even add that to if they did though. What kingdom would even have Reflect? It seems like a kingdom that's like a little bit more divine based. Trying to think of where that might even be if they were to do that. They're probably going to make it too underwhelming though. Like how they made the stun hero class. The stun hero class is so ridiculously bad. The War Priest. You never use it because its chance to stun is so low. And I feel like if they made a Reflect hero class, even if they did end up making it, it's just not going to be worth it. Because they're just going to make it such a low percent chance. I do hope we get a Inferno armor hero class eventually though. I was expecting 25% score reflect, but I hope they do. 25% score reflect on a 25% score reflect on any hero class is going to be pretty solid, just because the amount of stats that hero class has can actually utilize that 25% score reflect. Whereas many of the troops that currently have 25% score reflect are not that good for the most part. Okay, we got a weird treasure room over there. I think I'm just going to do a loop and just make a circle. It's probably not the most optimal order, but it's not that big a deal. Oh yeah, Shen Tang might actually get it. That would make a bit of sense there. Not sure if Cinemirage. And Cinemirage is likely to get Inferno armor. I don't think it would get Reflect though. Also, speaking of hero classes, I hope they buff next hero class before they release it. It's really bad. It's not actually the Bladed Lands one next. The Bladed Lands one is in 2 hero classes from now. The next one is that really, really bad Storm one from Suncrest. Its unique trait is the first trait on Storm Tree, which is ridiculously bad. Not only is that trait normally useless, but it's redundant because it also has Storm Tree. So it has the same thing twice. And it's a really, really useless perk to begin with. Just like instant kill from Assassin or Thief. He never got it to proc ever. Yeah, it is pretty low chance. However, when it does go, it's pretty devastating. Generally, it's better to use Thief than, or not Thief, it's better to use Assassin than Archer. Even though it's 5% less, it's killing a different target than what you're already hitting with Skull Spam. So it distributes the damage a bit better. The biggest issue with Archer, well, there's 2 issues. One is that if you reflect damage off it, it infinitely takes damage, so it instantly dies. But the other big issue with it, and that's going to be more relevant next patch as well, since Reflect will instantly kill it. But the other big issue with it is the thing that you're doing damage to, your skull damage when you're doing skull spam, is the exact same one that is trying to instant kill. So you're not really getting that much value out of it, since you're probably already going to be killing it with your skull spam. Whereas something like Assassin will kill the first slot, but its instant kill will also kill the last slot. Whereas with Archer, you kill the first slot, and then your instant kill kills the exact same thing you pretty much just killed. So it doesn't double kill, it just single kills. Even though it's a higher percent, it's not as effective. Generally, if you're running that mechanic, you always run Assassin. Unless it's really important to have half mana start. Because Assassin does not have half mana start. There's currently no way to give it half mana start. Though Assassin could become a really, really relevant hero class if we ever get a rogue that has skull spam and a rogue that has half mana start to all rogues. There is one rogue, I believe, that's skull spam. The only problem is it's Little Johnny, and it's not really that many skulls unless you get a map. And getting a map is pretty inconsistent. And generally, is just too hard to do. Like, getting maps in general isn't that bad. But to have your entire team dependent on needing to get one map before it's operational is not that good. Which is why you never see Little Johnny used, even though there's several things in the game that creates maps pretty decently. Most notably Tyree. Who is also a rogue. Rogues will have a lot of potential if they ever get half mana start. There's even a really good perk for them off of hero classes too, the extra 1 magic to all rogues per extra turn. Off of a couple different hero classes. And Assassin has that as well, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wait, never mind. Assassin counts as Naga. I forgot. Assassin isn't rogue, it's Naga. Forgot about that. Corsair is rogue, though. Yeah, I forgot. It doesn't seem like it's Naga, but it is a Naga typing. A typing that is almost never used because the only Nagas in the game are pretty much in the Mista Scales. And there are not that many good ones. Tapon is the most noteworthy one of them. And almost all the other ones are irrelevant. At least in comparison. Yeah, I'm not sure when we're getting Rope Dart again. It's next Pride Lands event, though I don't believe we see a Pride Lands event in current visible sight. So it probably isn't until later this year or early next year. We won't be able to buy a Rope Dart if you don't already have it. Unless you randomly get it off a pack. Yeah, Thief has 3 spawns. Archer also has 3 spawns. However, Thief is better. But yes, both of those hero classes have 3 things that can spawn troops. Though Thief is overall better than it. Yeah, the heroes in general need a revamp. Like, instead of just even adding more, every single hero class almost needs a revamp. They're pretty clunky, quite a few of them. Like, some of them still work, but around 80% of hero classes are really, really weird in that they have just combinations that don't really work, or they're just useless. Normally the useless part. Does that mean Archer Thief are better summoners than Necromancer class? Yes, technically. I think Necromancer only has 1 summon on it, oddly enough. If he even has 1. Does he even have 1? Pretty sure it has at least 1. Not sure which one, but it definitely has less. I know that for sure. Last I recall, the only 2 hero classes with 3 spawns are, or 3 good spawns, are Archer and Thief. Actually, I believe there are only ones with 3 just in general, though they also happen to have the good ones. The most noteworthy one is Heronif. Even though that tree is completely useless, for the most part, the wind tree, the one good thing it does have is the capability of summoning Heronif at 25% chance. The troop itself isn't that good, however, the way that it summons it is extremely good. It summons it based on a 25% chance every time you cast. And what's really good with this in combination with stuff like Black Beast is that the summon takes priority before you target. So with something like Black Beast, when you're about to go and devour one of your allies, the 25% chance to summon a Heronif whenever you cast a spell triggers right when you click the button for casting the spell, meaning that you can then target Black Beast Devour onto the thing that you just summoned off a 25% chance, which ends up working to make Black Beast very, very viable. I personally don't use them much just because he's a really, really slow option. But for early game players and mid game players, Black Beast with Thief Hero class or Archer Hero class, with the Heronif summon and their Bandit 35% and stuff like that, is really, really good. Used to be even better when Bandit used to be 50% summon, but still, even at 35%, still really solid. And they also have a third one. I believe it's 25% chance to summon Heronif every cast, a 35% chance that anything that dies, including the Heronif when it gets devoured, will become a bandit, and a 20% chance, I believe it is, that they'll summon a Sister of Shadows every single time they get a kill. I think that one is Thieves. I'm not sure what the other one has as third, but I know Thief has that as its third. The 20% for Sister of Shadows every kill. But the two most relevant ones, of course, is the Heronif into the Bandit summon. That combo is great with Black Beast and just great for just infinitely summoning new stuff. You basically have an infinite first slot wall, even if you lose your first slot. Hello, Mod Mark. Thank you, and welcome. Oh, why did I do that? I should have threw a key. Luckily, we got an extra turn off it, so it doesn't matter as much. Yeah, they really need to hotfix the most recent Mythic. I believe it's being fixed next patch for version 4.5. Hopefully, they fixed it to the point that it's actually better than Black Beast. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Black Beast is currently better than the most recent Mythic that is like Black Beast, which we kind of already knew was going to be the case. But I don't know, it's just kind of weird that they end up doing it that way. And it's even worse given that his ability is not glitched, but a bit of an oversight on their part in that they didn't add, they forgot to add the immunity to it. What on earth is the order of this delve? This is such a weird layout. This is such a ridiculously weird layout. I guess there. I don't think I've ever had that order for this delve before. That is such a weird order. But yeah, we'll do that. Man, there's almost 100% chance the Mythic is getting fixed next patch. They've made mention of it on their Q&A stream. So they are aware of the problem, they just didn't fix it yet. So they're probably waiting for a patch before they do. Why do I particularly farm this delve? Silver Necropolis is theoretically better, or actually is better than this delve. The reason why I farm this one is I already had it at a lower level. This is the second best delve in the game. The reason for this is it has three, is it 4 or 3? Yeah, it has 4 potential rooms, or no, sorry, 3. It has 3 potential rooms that can be Cedric Sparkle Sack, which ends up making it pretty decent for accumulating a lot of gold. Particularly when using a Skeleton Key team. This delve can use Skeleton Key team, so we get to farm even more gold as we're grinding through these. But the other main reason, which is kind of funny, is this is the only delve in the entire game that gives you Arcane Trait Stones on the final battle. And it will end up giving you 3 every single time, or 4 if you're progressing through normally. But if you're just farming it constantly off the same one, it's 3. And in case they are ever useful for something in the future, you can get 9 Arcanes within like 30 minutes or less, which is extremely above the normal rate. Because if you were to do Explore for an entire hour, that is likely to net you around 9 Arcanes. But all you have to do is complete out 3 delves, and you'll also end up getting 9 Arcanes. Unfortunately, it's the same Arcane. They're Arcane Lights, so you're not going to be getting a variety of Arcanes. However, if there's ever a Trait Stone Sync in the future, where this Trait Stone, it doesn't matter specifically, it just says, hey, just go throw Trait Stones at this, and it doesn't care what color it is. All the farming that we would have done on this would have been very, very useful, and that's one of the main reasons I'm doing this as well. But no, Silver Necropolis, if they were to make, like, next patch, or whenever they finally do it, the next patch shouldn't be doing it, though, but if they were to ever finally make it so level 500 delves are better, Silver Necropolis is definitely the way to go. But because I already had this one lower, I'm just doing Warrens. It's the second best one, though. And the reason why Silver Necropolis is the best is it has 2 guaranteed treasure rooms with 2 other rooms that could potentially be treasure rooms. Meaning you could theoretically get 4 treasure rooms within one single delve, making it the highest amount of treasure rooms overall of any delve, which is why it's the best loot. But it's much slower to do level 500 Silver Necropolis than it would be to do this at 110, which is why we do this at 110. Until they buff level 500 delves. Or, you know, buff it as in making them actually give more loot. Because right now, a level 20 delve gives the same loot as a level 500. So this level 110 that we're doing right now gives the exact same loot as a level 500 delve. It doesn't make any sense, but it is how it is. Yeah, it'd be very useful if you could choose what level of delve you could do. Though in the current format of the game, everyone would just do level 20 delve. But yeah, they still have never fixed it. I mentioned that before they even added delves, that it would be a problem. And they didn't do anything. And it's been a year and they still haven't. But they'll do it eventually, hopefully. If you ever think you're useless, remember, there are treasure maps in Gems of War. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, treasure maps are quite a useless resource these days. Hey look, 2 treasure maps, yay! I remember when treasure maps used to be exciting. The economy of the game was way different back then. Way, way different. Yeah, we didn't get a single Cedric room, which is unfortunate, because that means PvP would have actually been quicker. This is only quicker for gold than PvP if we get a Cedric every other delve. It's still pretty good for gold, but PvP is quicker if we don't end up constantly getting Cedrics. Though if we keep getting Cedrics, this is the quickest gold in the entire game. Technically, Silver Necropolis being slightly quicker. Why can't you level Hero up while in Treasure Hunt? Because you only get EXP as a result of battle. So Treasure Hunt does not give EXP because it's not a battle. That indirectly helps newer players though as well. Because Treasure Hunts are mostly used by newer players and most useful resource-wise as a newer player. And not gaining EXP of it's actually useful, because it makes PvP easier and other similar things where that bases difficulty on your level. So it definitely helps newer players quite a bit that it doesn't give EXP. And the main reason for that is they only give EXP as a result of battle. And that's kind of funny. I didn't even think about it like that. But that's even consistent all the way back to Puzzle Quest 2. In Puzzle Quest 2, the treasure hunt in Puzzle Quest 2 does not give you any EXP. You get EXP for every single minigame in Puzzle Quest 2, except for treasure hunt. Which is kind of funny. That's another similarity that it has. Because Gems of War is the exact same way. It's literally the only minigame in Gems of War that doesn't give EXP. I never realized that. That is funny. Well, I knew it was the only one. I kind of forgot that both games are the exact same way in that regard. It took so many things from Puzzle Quest 1 and 2. Let's see. Go grab this one. Hey, that's one thing it doesn't have, though. We don't have fun boss dragon fights. Puzzle Quest 1 and 2 did that really well. Actually, Puzzle Quest 2 in particular, that was probably the most memorable fight of the entire playthrough of the game. Actually, that fight alone was pretty much the entire game. It's because the rest was pretty easy, with a decent understanding of how match 3 works. I'll throw that down. But yeah, I wish we would eventually get like really big mega bosses in Gems of War. Not sure how they would scale it though. Like Zugov was supposed to kind of be like that, except it's not really that good of a version of a super boss. They would need to figure out how to do like the ability to actually make it balanced, so that the player can't just like instant kill it, but also so the boss can't just instant kill you, because that's just cheap. The fact that he could just instantly kill you regardless, even if you have barrier or anything else. Yeah, Puzzle Quest 1 had like 3 or 4 boss dragons. Puzzle Quest 2 had 1, but it was the most epic fight of the entire playthrough. I'll take that. Grab a gold key, or scout key, I mean. Well, it basically is a gold key. Any team you're running it on is a gold farming team. You're never not running key on gold farming team. It'd be pointless to run it on anything else. I'll get it rolling, and I just have to key 3 times. There's 1. Get another map to add to our useless pile of like 16,000 maps. Actually, what is our current number? If I had to guess, it's 15,590. That'd be amazing if that was actually right. Why did I say 15,590? That'd be so hilarious if that's actually correct, or almost correct. Probably not. Let me see. How many maps do we have? Let's take our tribute first. Where'd it go? Nope. Oh! I was close, though. I was 1,000 off. I forgot I got the extra 1,000 within there. But yeah, I was right when I said 590. Like, I was thinking along the right lines. I forgot I ended up getting another 1,000 maps within that time. 1,000 useless maps. But yeah. I was only, like, 40 off then. Because I just forgot the 1,000 from earlier. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna go claim the reward. Forgot to claim the loot. And there we go. And all those shards we will be using soon. Next Tuesday we'll be using about 5,000 of it. And then the following Friday we use every last shard we have. And then on Tuesday we'll use all that treasure and go get, what's it called? All-Seeing Eye up to level 200. And we already have it to 100, so we have part of it done already. So that's nice. It's not like we're having to do it all the way from 0 to 100. We already have a decent portion of it done. Well, not a decent portion, but, you know, part of it done. And that's like 1/5 the way there, I believe. Somewhere like that. So at least part of it's already done. Of course, on the Friday one, we'll have to do it all the way from 0, though. Oh, that could be a problem, though. We're not going to have that many chalices and stuff. I really wish you could upgrade lower treasure. There's almost no point in using gold rings because of how much gold it costs. However, if we could convert our gold rings into chalices, and our chalices into crowns, and our crowns into genie lamps, so on and so forth, then, yeah, that would end up being good. Because it would actually make all these lower resources usable. I'm surprised they haven't added a feature like that. I wish they would. It'd be a great soul sink. Even if they made it a little bit expensive, late game players would sink it. Because there's so few things to sink souls into. And as long as it wasn't, like, too absurd in price, people would do it so they could save on gold. It'd still be a gold sink, it just wouldn't be as big of a gold sink. And if anything, it might even be bigger gold sink. Because right now, no one's going to use their gold rings. But if they added a small soul sink, that would make these actually usable by making them bigger treasures, then people would actually use these to spend gold. So theoretically, it would be a soul sink and a gold sink, since it would encourage people to, you know, actually use these to spend more gold, and it would soul sink, and it would also fix the problem of being able to upgrade these delves, and the problem with these treasures being completely useless. These two are basically never really used, because of how much gold they use. Theoretically, you throw some gold rings up to about 50 or so, but anything beyond that is just a complete waste of gold. What factions on Tuesday? All Seeing Eye. All Seeing Eye is somewhat relevant because the pet is required to 17 star to Kingdom. You have to have the pet maxed out, which requires 2,500 faction in order to 17 star to Kingdom. You'll still be able to 16 star to Kingdom without it. But if you want to go to 17 star or higher into the future, but it's only going to be 17 star tomorrow. But if you want to get that 17 star for the extra 0.25 tribute, it requires having this faction maxed. It also requires having the other pet max as well, but most people probably have Troglodyte maxed by now, most likely. Let's see. This treasure reminds you of the Puzzle Quest 2 loot board. Yeah, it is the shape of it. Chalices were on it. Everything else wasn't on it, though. Oh, yeah, crowns were. Crowns and chalices were on the loot board for Puzzle Quest 2. The other 4 weren't, though. But yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Anything you want me to go over? Any other things? Otherwise, oh, wait. Before I go, hold up. Redeem code. I haven't given out redeem code yet. It's like the second stream that I haven't given out like right at the end. But let me go do it. Better late than never. Hold up. Yeah, does anyone else have any other questions or anything you want me to go over? Let me know. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll mainly just be setting up for Guild Wars and messing probably with the new Trolls some, because it's a pretty interesting troop. We'll have the video up for that tomorrow as well. And we'll be covering the Corsair hero class soon as well, of course, because Blue Guild War Day, that is extremely relevant on. And I do want to cover it before Blue Guild War Day, because it is going to be extremely relevant for Blue Guild War Day. It can also be used in a couple other Guild War days, but Blue Guild War is obviously the most relevant of any of them. But anyways, guys, here is the redeem code. Use it on gemsawar.com, read the game code section. Your invite code is found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says there, redeem code's right over there in chat. Copy paste the random numbers and letters. And give same reward as always: 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. And it only works on PC mobile version. There you guys go. Yep, hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. Hope you will have a wonderful week. And best of luck with getting the new legend tomorrow if you're going to get it. It's a pretty useless legend. However, and most of the things in the event key drop tip are pretty bad. However, Darkstone is the high star kingdom, so if you want to like get the kingdom upgraded some, it is the easiest kingdom in the entire game to upgrade. So due to the sheer number of troops that it has. So with that factor, it might be relevant. That and it is a magic kingdom, so getting it to 5 star and 10 star is extremely, extremely relevant if you haven't already. But anyways, guys, hope you all have a wonderful week. I'll catch all of you soon, and goodbye, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.